Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. Quite a few months ago, March to be precise, I reviewed the first part of the anime show Jojo's Bizarre Adventure called Phantom Blood. And in this video I'm going to be continuing that journey as I review its second part, Battle Tendency. In Battle Tendency, we follow the action-packed adventures of Jonathon Joestar's grandson, Jonathon Joestar, who is an avid Harmon user. For those of you who don't know, Harmon is a martial arts energy harnessed by a talented few. Joseph discovers that 3 powerful warriors called the Pillar Men have been resurrected in Italy, and want to find something called the Redstone of Asia to become invincible to light, their biggest weakness. Joseph teams up with Will Sapelli's grandson Caesar to take them on, but they are clearly overpowered by these mighty warriors. The Pillar Men place 2 rings on Jojo's heart and throat, proclaiming that he has 30 days to defeat them and win the antidotes. So Caesar takes Joseph to his mentor Lisa, who helps train the two so that they can protect the Redstone of Asia from the Pillar Men. You see, it turns out that Lisa herself has the stone. Can Joseph and Caesar become amazing Harmon users under Lisa's wing, and will they be able to defeat the Pillar Men? Now, I had lukewarm feelings after seeing Jojo's Bizarre Adventure's first arc, Phantom Blood, because it didn't live up to the show's title. There was nothing really bizarre about Phantom Blood. It was just the story of an evil vampire trying to take over the world. For the most part, it took itself too seriously, and its brooding dark scenes outweighed the more campy or weird moments. Sure, it had a few enjoyably odd scenes here and there, but it was pretty boring as a whole. Battle Tendency, though, is a completely different story. It's 100 times more entertaining than its predecessor. This arc embraces its silliness, isn't afraid to let the campy melodrama move the story forward, and most importantly, it's really fun! Battle Tendency was a blast for me to sit through. It's pure popcorn entertainment, an arc that kept me constantly engaged. There's so many moments in this arc that made me burst out laughing and scream, "What the fuck?" helping it live up to the show's name of Bizarre Adventure. I think what helps the arc feel self-aware is the character of Jonathon Joestar. Sure, Joseph can be rude, disrespectful and cocky, but he's redeemed by his lovable, goofy sense of humour. He's always cracking jokes and winding up his enemies with childish taunts.
You're it! Oh, I get it. You're one of those strong silent types, right? Ever thought about modeling? You've got a nice look there. Come on, let's see what you got. Give me a smile.
His cheeky personality actually comes into play during fight sequences too, as his love of entertainment performance inspires him to rely on illusion, comedic teasing, and trickery to outwit his opponents. It's like watching a stand-up entertainer put on a show while also kicking ass. Jojo's rivalry/friendship with Caesar is great too. I love how they immaturely bicker and compete, but also develop a respect for each other's unique abilities. They become almost brotherly in connection, making their relationship both fascinatingly complex and charmingly heartwarming. The fights themselves are also really fun. They're not simple punches and kicks, they're a combination of Harmon energy and creative strategy. Characters take advantage of their environments and opponents' weaknesses to make each battle feel intensely tactical. At the same time, the action isn't afraid to get really goofy or tongue-in-cheek, lending to the crazy, campy tone of the show. Unlike the first arc, Speedwagon isn't always here to give live commentary on fights. We get a narrator instead, who I actually really liked, because he sounds like a charismatic sports announcer, which helps make the fights feel like eventful athletic spectacles.
Behold, our now broken hero! Jojo, forced to play dead, crawling for his life, and now leaving Speedwagon behind to face certain death. Even with all of this, Jojo remains dedicated, a hero worthy of this tale. How is that, you ask?
I also like that Jojo isn't inherently perfect in battle. He's a little slippy and flawed as a Harmon user, but shows potential, meaning that he does have to take some very intense training with Lisa. Lisa herself is a supremely badass mentor. She pushes her students to extreme lengths and never softens up out of pity. Plus, I love how she shakes off sexist remarks made by those around her, letting her awesome skills speak for herself. She's so damn cool. But beneath her icy exterior does lie a very human soul, and we do get to learn why she's so stern. However, I was disappointed to see that most of Jojo and Caesar's training is squashed into the last few minutes of an episode, in the form of a quick montage. I would have loved to have seen 1 or 2 more episodes dedicated to harm and improvement to help me really feel the hardship of our heroes' practices. Oh well. Anyway, although the show is dominated with silly comedy and intense over-the-top action, it's also willing to sober up for more somber moments. For example, in one scene, a character dies after battling a Pillar Man. It's a heart-wrenching and emotionally powerful scene. Little subtle details are added to show how certain characters are dealing with the passing. For a show that pulls off some pretty insane sequences, it is fully capable of restraint when it's required. Because this show has so much entertaining personality and lovable charm, I cared about these characters and wanted them to survive their adventure. Losing one of them made me feel like a major part of the show's dynamic had been taken away, which did make me sad. Battle Tendency also expands on concepts first introduced in Phantom Blood, from the legend of the Stone Masks to the legacy of the Joestar family. As the arc goes along, we learn more and more about the origins of the show's antagonists and what happened to the descendants of Jonathon Joestar after his sacrifice. Because Battle Tendency has twice as many episodes as Phantom Blood, it has the room to add layers and details to the characters' backstories and the mythology of this world. I felt like there was more material to this arc, making it satisfyingly rewarding to follow. The fact that our heroes also travel to 3 or 4 different countries adds a big scope to the overall adventure too. In addition, the show also has a running theme of honour, whether that means family pride, warrior's philosophy, or heroic responsibility. Even some of the antagonists, who can be barbaric and cruel, have their own sense of moral conduct to follow, making the concept of evil interestingly complex, thus adding dimension to Jojo's opponents. So, when we discover that Kars, the leader of the Pillar Men, has no sense of pride, honour or fairness, he ends up resembling everything that our heroes oppose. He cheats, goes against his word, and has no moral limitations. While previous enemies gave our heroes at least a fighting chance, Kars is simply a walking doom machine with a relentless ambition to become invincible. He's a scary and intimidating presence because he has no sense of shame at all and will stop at nothing to succeed. I'm not kidding, the lengths he goes to beat Jojo in the show's climax are fucking insane! To conclude, Battle Tendency is a really enjoyable, tongue-in-cheek and action-packed arc, a huge improvement on the mediocre Phantom Blood. I cared about the characters, felt invested in the ongoing story, and was immensely entertained by the batshit crazy imagination of the show. So, am I going to be reviewing future arcs of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure? Well, if I can find the time and afford an English version of the future arcs on DVD, then sure. But I can't make any promises, so don't get your hopes up too high. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then feel free to support me on my Patreon. Cheerio, folks.